guys, welcome back to Queen Varieties channel. In today's episode, you will learn how to make the perfect Nigerian meat pie recipe without oven. No oven bake meat pie. This tasty African Nigerian popular street snack is widely eaten and enjoyed by most families. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel to get instant notifications whenever I upload any video. Kindly share this video with your friends, loved ones, or anybody you want to share it with. Thank you. Friends, for this recipe, you will require 4.5 cups of sifted all-purpose flour. To that, I will add 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. Next, I will include half teaspoon of nutmeg and little pinch of salt because I am using salted butter. But if you're using unsalted butter, then I suggest you add half teaspoon salt. Going over to the next item, I will introduce my secret ingredient, which is the vanilla and vanilla sugar. So I will include 8 grams of vanilla sugar to this recipe and then mix and combine everything appropriately. At this stage, the mixing process is done. Now, I will gradually add a very cold butter into the dry ingredients. I will be using precisely 350 grams butter. Of course, you can substitute with margarine for 400 grams. With the help of my hands, which is already washed and dried, go forward and combine the butter with the dry ingredients until a crumbly-like texture is formed. Going over to the next step, I will create a hole in the middle of the bowl and crack in 3 fresh cold eggs. I will then go forward and press in 3 large drops of vanilla aroma into this bowl. And these 3 drops is equivalent to 1 teaspoon of vanilla, guys. So please, this vanilla essence is very important for this recipe because it brings a magnitude of aroma and taste to this meat pie recipe. So please don't skip it. Now take your time and mix everything to be generously distributed appropriately. At this stage, you will notice that a dough is formed. That is because the ingredients we are using for this recipe is very cold. That is why you have to be very careful. Now, I will go forward and start dropping in some milk. Right here, I have a 1/3 cup of milk, but I'm not going to add all of them. I'll be dropping the milk step by step. If you don't want to use the milk, you can as well use some water. At this stage, you notice that my dough is formed, so I will knead it for only 1 minute. After kneading for 1 minute, I will transfer it to a cling film and then put it in my fridge for exactly 30 minutes. You can also leave it for longer period or shorter period, but 30 minutes is perfect. Alright, so friends, while the dough is cooling in the fridge, we are moving forward to prepare the meat pie fillings. My pot is already preheated. To it, I'll add 1.5 cooking spoon of sunflower oil. Next, add some onions. And I'm using just 1 purple onions. You can use the white onions if you prefer. Allow the onions to cook for 2 to 3 minutes until it becomes pale and all the flavors have infused into the oil. And then next, add the minced beef. Now I have added the minced beef, so I will go forward and keep stirring the minced beef for some time. Now I will introduce my spices. For this recipe, I am using different types of spices. Feel free to use any spices that you prefer. I have some paprika, black pepper, 1 nut cube. I also have dry basil and then 1 scotch red pepper. The scotch bonnet pepper is going to bring that type of spiciness and kick to this recipe. Guys, trust me, it's going to be so fantabulous. I mean, with that spicy pepper. Okay, now we are going to stir this ingredients until it becomes totally pale in nature. And on the screen right now, you can see how pale this minced meat is looking. All the spices spices have penetrated deeply. Then I will now add the vegetables. I'm using potatoes and carrots. Use any vegetable of your choice. Stir and coat all the minced meat with the vegetables and then introduce salt to your own taste. Okay, once that is done, I will now add 1 cup of water to this. Mix everything appropriately, guys. Take your time, mix everything, cover the pot and allow to cook on the lowest heat. About 10 to 15 minutes right now, I am back to check the pot, and at this point in time I've touched the potatoes and it is perfectly cooked. You don't want it to be overcooked, guys, because you're going to bake. So to the pot I'll add 1 tablespoon of flour. The flour is going to help to bind all the ingredients to a thickened form. I'll then cover the pot and allow it to cook for extra 3 minutes. Remember that you can also add water to your flour to make it in a liquid way, but it doesn't matter. Just make sure you cook it until the taste of the flour is totally eliminated. 3 minutes later, everything is perfectly ready. I have transferred the mixture into a tray and allow it to cool down completely before we start combining the meat pie together. Do now is just to butter my baking pan. The meat pie will not stick on the baking pan. This step is very important. You can also spray it if you prefer. Now I'll sprinkle some little flour on my work surface. Here I've cracked in 1 egg and I'm beating that egg and set it aside until it is required. Make sure you have some flour on the work surface because it will help your dough very well. Okay, I'll drop the dough now on my work surface and divide it into 8 segments. Division will make it very easy for us to roll out our dough. Take a segment of the dough and roll out in a flattened nature, just like somebody who wants to bake chin-chin. Don't want the dough to be too flat. This is the thickness that you should be targeting because you want that crust from your meat pie. My God, there is nothing that can be compared to meat pie crust. You can also use your meat pie cutter or any dough cutter you prefer. I'll be using my plate because I'm going for a large meat pie sizes. Take out the excess dough and take it back to the bowl where it is covered. I'll use some water and then rub the sides of the dough. And now placing the meat pie fillings at the center point of the dough. You don't have to add too much, but at least add something that will be easy to cover. Now take the segment of the dough and cover it and seal it. I'll be using my fingertips to seal it. You can use the fork. The fingertips also works perfectly. To repeat the same process until I have rolled out all my dough entirely. At this stage, we are going over to the last segment of preparation, which is the baking of the meat pie. And right now my pot is on the heat and I've poured in some quantity of salt. Substitute that salt with some sand, or you can even leave your pot empty if you're using an old pot. But if you don't want to damage your pot, just pour in sand or salt at the base. Okay, now I'll place in some iron inside the pot and cover it and preheat it for exactly 10 good minutes on medium heat. To this place, I'm going to brush the meat pie with some egg. So take your time and brush all the surfaces of the meat pie with the egg mixture. The egg mixture is going to help your meat pie to come out, beautiful in appearance. Okay, now I'll transfer it inside the pot and then cover the pot and allow it to bake. I'll be baking this meat pie on the medium settings for exactly 10 to 15 minutes. And after 10 to 15 minutes, I'll then lower my heat and bake it for extra 40 minutes on the lowest heat. After a total period of 50 minutes or 55 minutes baking process, oh my god, our meat pie is super ready. This place smells incredibly awesome. Look at the internal part of that meat pie, so moist and so yummy, hot. Take a good look at the appearance, so butterish. When you take a bite inside this meat pie, you will taste that vanilla flavor. You will taste that butterish taste that comes with our authentic Nigerian meat pie recipe. Jehovah. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. I really hope you have enjoyed today's recipe. If you have, kindly like, share this video with your friends, loved ones, or anybody you want to share it with until I come your way next time. Bye bye.